And now to the arts. Coming Home is an exhibition of paintings and installations by Victor Epuk at Art House Space in Lagos. He uses signs and symbols popular in Igbo culture to interpret these works of art. On Art Review tonight, we see how it all comes together in his solo exhibition.
It's a full house, a sea of heads, all anxious to see these works done by contemporary artists. After an intensive artist in residency program with Art House Foundation, Victor Epuk exhibits the fruit of all that labor at the Space, Lagos.
What inspired the exhibition was my coming home for the first time in 10 years to do an exhibition where I actually come to stay and make the work based on my experience of home, so to speak, because I haven't lived here in more than a decade.
For the artist who lives in the United States, Nigeria is home, and home feeds his imagination. It has served him all he needs for this show. The idea of how people use the head, what goes on inside and outside it, interpreting it with inscriptions, the uli and nsibidi designs, which are traditional designs drawn by the Igbo people in southeast Nigeria.
What I'm doing with the series of work called Head is the African concept of head as that which predisposes our destiny. So when coming back home, I was struck by women, people carrying things on their heads. And I saw that as a metaphor for a much more general human condition, where we're always carrying things on our heads.
The artist's fascination for the head is seen in about 9 series done on acrylic, on wood, and on metal intriguing works. You can tell what it's about just by looking at it keenly.
When you look at the works overall, you can get the beauty, you can get the message, you can feel, his direction. And, I always say that when an artist has a focus and he has a vision and he follows his vision, it enables the public to try to key into his vision, and that propels him to do more work.
The metal bending and crafting saw him work with a sculptor to achieve this, better appreciated in the Icon series, which is shaped like a human form with exaggerated eyes, painted mouths, and a few other body parts symbolically represented. The audience feels satisfied after feeding their eyes.
Victor's work is imaginative. He uses a lot of his feeling when he's making his work. There's stuff that's not conventional about it. So he will do things very creatively. He will use color and line in a way that is very spontaneous. And it's got rhythm, nice colors. It stands out in a very exciting type of art.
The artist admits that the time spent at the Art House Foundation was a refreshing experience, an opportunity to tap into the ideas exhibited in this space.
Moving on to other stories, just getting to our front desk. The 3 officials of the Osun State Civil Service, Mrs. Dupe Ogunlumade, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, Mr. Tajuddin Badejoko, Director of State Audit, and the driver of the Auditor General of the State, Mr. Oladapo Ajani Arogundade, have regained their freedom from their abductors this evening of Sunday, the 24th April 2016. Head of Service, Sunday Owoye, says that arrangements are being made to convey them to Osogbo within the shortest possible time by security agents with a view to reuniting them with their families and relations. The permanent secretary and the two others were kidnapped on Friday by unknown gunmen along Obajana-Lokoja axis in Kogi State while returning from Abuja on an official assignment. Sports stories now. Nigeria's Blessing Okabare will be one of the big names expected to compete at the IAAF Diamond League meeting in Rabat, that's in Morocco, on May the 22nd. The meeting, which is the 9th edition this year, has been included in the Diamond League series, replacing the New York leg of the Diamond League. The African record holder will be engaged in a battle of superiority with her Jamaican opponent, Shirley Ann Fraser-Price, in the women's 100 meters event taking place at the Prince Moulay Abdullah Stadium. Okabare will be seeking to dominate and make history on the continent as she makes her debut at the meeting which follows the Doha May the 6th and Shanghai May the 14th leg of the Diamond League. Kano Pillars have recorded the biggest win of the 2015-2016 MPFL season following a 6th defeat of visiting Shooting Stars. Emmanuel Edmond grabbed a hat-trick with Ifeanyi Matthew, Adamu Muhammad and Nafiu Ibrahim also getting on the scoreboard. Heartland edged out Sunshine Stars of Akure by a lone goal. Plateau United beat Rivers United 2-1. And in other games, Wiki Tourists defeated FC Ifeanyi Uba 3-0 as Abia Warriors defeated MFM FC 3-1 to move to second spot on the Nigerian League table. And in the English Premier League, Sunderland are out of relegation zone following a goalless draw against Arsenal at the Stadium of Light. Both sides had penalty shootouts turned down in the first half as referee Mike Dean waved away appeals from Jermaine Defoe and Alex Iwobi. Patrick Van Aanholt went closest to breaking the deadlock when his free kick hit the post, while former Arsenal goalkeeper Vito Mannone made several impressive saves to preserve his clean sheet. Leicester City restored their 8-point lead over Tottenham Hotspur following a 4-0 win against Swansea City. And former world number 1 Rafael Nadal has equalled Guillermo Vilas' record of 49 clay court titles by beating Japan's Kei Nishikori 6-4, 7-5 in the finals of the Barcelona Open. The 29-year-old Spaniard, who won the Monte Carlo Masters last week, has now won his opening 10 matches of the European clay court season. Nishikori won the title in 2014 and 2015, but was left to rue series of missed backpoint opportunities. Argentine Vilas won 49 clay court titles in the 1970s and early 1980s. United States President Barack Obama has ruled out deploying U.S. ground troops in Syria. He says that will be a mistake for the United States or Great Britain to send in ground troops and overthrow the Assad regime, and that military efforts alone cannot solve the country's problems. Mr. Obama also does not believe that the Islamic State will be defeated in his last 9 months of office. He was speaking during his 3-day visit to the UK. The US president, however, offered an assurance that the US-led coalition will continue to strike Islamic State targets in places like Raqqa and try to isolate and lock down those portions of the country that are sending foreign fighters into Europe. And the main news again. The army today raided a Boko Haram hideout in Sambisa forest and killed 5 suspected terrorists as they attempted to flee to Fulawani village. Also today, spokesperson of the House of Representatives, Abdul Razak Namdas, says that the wait for assent of the 2016 budget will soon end, as the National Assembly and the Executive are scheduled to meet later this week to resolve the grey areas. And that's how it's been on the news at 10 tonight. Well, thank you so much indeed for being a part of it. On behalf of everyone here, have a splendid night rest and a great week ahead. Good night.